Images of Finland, home to round 9 of the World Rally Championship. The most northerly of all the 14 events which make up the WRC is based in the university town of Jyväskylä, 300 kilometres or so north of Finland's capital Helsinki, with 10 stages on day 1, 6 more on day 2, and then a final 6 on day 3. Only 2 non-Scandinavians have ever won here. Spain's Carlos Sainz in 1990 driving a Toyota Celica, and France's Didier Auriol in a Lancia Delta Integrale in 1992. The man who's come closest to joining that exclusive club in recent years is Richard Burns, the current world champion, who led the rally at the end of day 1.
240, right to right, right to right.
The speeds are so high that if you try and do anything stupid, I think it's very easy to make a mistake. So the main thing for me is just to keep that concentration.
Burns' Peugeot teammate, the 2000 world champion Marcus Grönholm, has won his home event for the past 2 years. But running first on the road on day 1 didn't help the Finn, and he'll start day 2 in 3rd place. But can he catch the Englishman?
We will see.
Helping to keep the Finnish fans happy are Harry Rovanperä and stand-in co-driver Voito Silander. They were in 2nd place, making it an all Peugeot's top 3. The Peugeot stranglehold on the rally had been even more complete, but yet another Finn, Juuso Pukalisto, became the event's first major retirement when his transmission failed on stage 6. Colin McRae and the others seemed to be competing on a 2nd rally to be the best of the non-Peugeots, and the frustration was clear to see.
How can you get those valuable points, the 10 points or 6 points, rather than pick up 1 or 2?
If you can answer that, you can drive.
It was Subaru's Petter Solberg who headed the chase in 4th place at the end of the opening day. But it was his teammate Tommi Mäkinen who was the unhappiest of all. The 5-time event winner had no answer to the pace of the Peugeots, and even his Norwegian colleague was faster. No wonder Mäkinen seemed subdued, aware that his hopes of a 5th world title were slipping away. Behind the chase for championship points, Mitsubishi's new WRC2 Lancer suffered its highs in the hands of Alistair McRae, and lows when Francois Delacour retired with suspension failure on stage 9. Skoda's Kenneth Eriksson was another of the victims of day 1, leaving the team's hopes in the hands of Tony Gardemeister. At the end of the day, this was how things stood. Burns, Rovanperä and Grönholm looked to be having their own little battle, while Solberg, McRae and Carlos Sainz rounded off the top 6. Yet another Peugeot in the hands of privateer Sebastian Lindholm led the chasing pack, with Mäkinen a frustrated 8th.
Petter, is there any chance to break into that Peugeot fight today?
I think it's difficult. It's gonna be fighting with Carlos and Colin and these guys, I think.
Colin, longest day of the rally today. Can you catch the Peugeots?
Nope. After yesterday, there's no way we can match that pace. It might be a bit different today, I don't know, but I have a feeling that they're going to be very quick again.
As usual, the 2nd day is the rally's longest, just 6 stages compared to the 10 on day 1, but those 6 tests covered over 176 kilometres, including the longest stage of the entire event. Stage 11, Talviainen, was the day's first, and with the top 15 run in reverse order, it would be the Hyundais, Mitsubishis and the Skoda of Tony Gardemeister which would sweep away the loose gravel for the leaders. Gardemeister was 14th fastest, the Octavia now under 2 seconds behind Janne Parsonen's Lancer. The top 13 contained no fewer than 7 Finns. Jani Tuino's privately run Ford Focus now just 5.9 seconds away from snatching 10th place away from Freddie Loix's Hyundai. But the Korean team were about to lose one of their 3 cars. Unfortunately for the local fans, it was one of their heroes, Juha Kankinen, who was just a little too wide on one corner. Co-driver Juha Repo sheepishly gave the team the bad news.
I'm very sorry, but we have rolled after 2 Ks on the start of this stage 11. Sorry about that.
Estonia's Marko Martin has almost as many fans here as Kankinen, but his supporters were celebrating as he dragged 8th place away from Mäkinen. Further up the leaderboard, his 2 colleagues were scrapping with Peter Solberg for 4th place. Both set virtually identical times. Carl Sainz 7th quickest, and Colin McRae 8th, just 7/10 of a second slower.
6 left opens over crest, into left tightens to 4, tree outside. Into left tightens to 4 minus over crest. And right tightens to 4 plus. 70.
But Solberg was quicker still, 6th fastest, to hang on to his position as best of the non-Peugeot drivers.
Early 6 right plus over crest, and neat, don't cut, 2 left minus, tightens over crest, 20. 3 right plus tightens, slippy exit, opens 120. Keep left over crest, 30, turn 4 right and gap, tightens minus, 30, cut, 3 right tightens, keep in, into 3 left minus, tightens over crest. 40, 3 right tightens minus, opens to 6 plus, keep in over crest, 30.
However, the silver cars had dominated day 1 and that performance continued. Marcus Grönholm and co-driver Timo Rautiainen going fastest so far. Harry Rovanperä and Voito Silander went next, using every inch of the road in their bid to catch Richard Burns and Robert Reed. The pair last rallied together in Kenya in 1998, but Risto Pietalainen's recent illness means they're back together again.
One corner I go too inside and I lose the line and not so limit, but quite close, a little bit went off, and after that I lose a little bit concentration.
So Rovanperä was exactly a second slower than Grönholm, but what would the rally leader do?
Right, 30 easy right plus. Cut. To slight left, 40. Slight right, 70 slight left to crest, 100. Slight left, 100.
There's your answer, a stunning 8.3 seconds quicker. Peugeot's once again setting all of the top 3 times. Stage 12 was another of Finland's classics, Uninpoja, and the virtual spectator traces its twists and turns. It has 2 very different characters, wide and very fast with lots of jumps for the first 25 kilometres, then a lot narrower before opening out again before the finish. Once again, Gardemeister would be quicker than Parsonen, but some emergency repairs to the fuel system and the resulting 1-minute road penalty for starting the stage late meant the Skoda dropped to 17th place. Martin too was quicker than the man he'd been fighting, Tommy Mäkinen, who now had one eye on Sebastian Lindholm's 7th place, while Hyundai's Freddie Loix dropped out of the top 10. The car's handling meant he was finding it difficult to stay on the clean line. Mäkinen's unhappy home event was continuing. Just 8th fastest, beaten again by his teammate Solberg, the 5-time event winner was now 9th overall. Sebastian Lindholm meanwhile beat both the Subarus and so soon determined to hang on to his position as the best of the non-works drivers. Sainz and his co-driver Lewis Hall were 4th quickest, but the Fords had consistently been around half a second per kilometre slower than the Peugeots on the previous day, so the Spanish pair knew that a repeat of their 1990 victory was unlikely to say the least, while Colin McRae and Nicky Grist were just 1/10 of a second faster than their teammates over the 34 kilometres.
Right, into K, left over crest, tightens the 5- cut. 100. Left over crest and turn 2 right minus. And 6 right and 4 left plus line. And 6 right opens over crest. 70. 6 right over crest. 30. K 6 left keep out and left tightens to 4 plus. 70. Long 6 right line, 70. 6 right tightens and caution, 6 left tightens over crest and turn 2 right. Into 6 crest, 170. 6 right over crest line.
But by now both the Fords had moved up the leaderboard, with a puncture costing Petter Solberg around 10 seconds. It seemed the bad luck which has haunted the Norwegian and his Welsh co-driver Phil Mills all year had returned. So once again surely the Peugeots would set the top 3 times. Not quite, although Grönholm again set a blistering pace through the stage for his colleagues to chase. And again, Rovanperä rose to the challenge.
Keventää lopussa sisältä, kun Raikon pitkä oikein täys yli, Kirraa jatkaa pitkä vasen, täys minä, ja Nypyn yli oikein täys, jatkaa pitkä oikein täys.
This jump though is where it all went wrong for Burns. The heavy landing broke a turbo pipe and the car limped through the rest of the stage well down on power.
Yeah, okay, we telephoned GC, we landed very heavily on one jump and we had no power.
In all, over a minute and a half were lost, and despite the fact that the car looked undamaged, the incident dropped Burns and Reed to 3rd place. To show exactly how the pair lost the lead, we've called in the virtual spectator once again. Heading up to the jump, Burns is 30 kilometres an hour faster than Grönholm and around 20 kilometres an hour quicker than both Rovanperä and Colin McRae, suggesting that perhaps he should have taken it a lot more carefully. Almost as soon as he lands, the world champion starts to lose time, and it's not long before his 2 teammates and McRae are heading off into the distance. It's that easy to throw away a minute and a half and turn the top step of the podium into the bottom. So it was now Rovanperä who led from Grönholm, but it's amazing to realise that Burns could lose so much time and yet still only drop to 3rd. McRae and Sainz had also both passed Solberg, Marco Martin was now 8th ahead of Mäkinen, and Loix had dropped to 11th.
Richard, you've lost the lead. What happened?
I took a jump quickly in the last stage, and it was like 5k into 35k stage. And when we landed, it landed very hard on the nose of the car, and it's we lost boost, lost the intercooler, or crashed an intercooler pipe or something.
So it was now down to the Peugeot mechanics to play their part and restore the 206 to its earlier pace-setting condition. The damage, however, had been done.
Michelle, Richard landed very heavily after one of the jumps. What has he done to the car?
Well, in fact, as he was landing in the front of the car, he bended a bit the chassis leg, then which moves his intercooler, and bend one pipe which is going to the turbocharger.
Can you fix it during this service?
Yeah, I think it will be no problem because the car is not so badly damaged, so we can fix it, replace the parts, and the car will be spot on for the next stages.
Colin, you hoped that one of the Peugeots would make a mistake, but Burns' mistake wasn't quite big enough for you.
No, the problem is they've got such a big lead now. They can afford to have problems. So I'm sure they'll sort whatever the problem is out here, and he's going to be back up to speed again.
But the dramas weren't over yet. Problems repairing the subguard, the protective tray under the car, meant Burns was 2 minutes late leaving service, and so picked up a 20-second time penalty. Stage 13 at nearly 41 kilometres, the longest of the entire rally. Mitsubishi had had high hopes for their new improved Lancer before the rally, but both their remaining cars were outside the top 10. Jani Parsonen and Arto Kapanen headed the team's challenge in 12th place. Jani Tuino was still 10th in his Ford Focus, despite losing over 3 seconds to Freddie Leutz on the stage. Less than 10 seconds each split the pair. Despite a puncture, Marco Martin and Michael Park also continued their bid to move up the leaderboard. Nearly 6 seconds faster than Sebastian Lindholm and Timo Häntönen, the Focus and the 206 were now less than 6 seconds apart.
100, crest late, EE right, 20, crest right, bad notes, 70 flat right, 40 flat right crest, and left tightens to 6 minus slow over crest.
But the battles within the top 6 were occupying most people's attention. Sainz going fastest so far.
Para uno corto, frenando, izquierda buena menos se tierra, roderas, para derecha que corta, para izquierda buena más a fondo, abrirse uno, izquierda rápido, ojo corta, para derecha buena más, ojo corta, ras, atención, acaba caliente de tierra, para uno.
McRae was next into the stage, but just watch the clock to get an idea of just how quickly he was going.
Into 4 right plus, opens long. 70, 4 left over crest, tightens, cut, okay.
Solberg, it seemed, could do nothing about the two Ford drivers. The Norwegian was slower than both Sainz and McRae, but at least he was quicker than both the pair behind him, Lindholm and Martin. Grönholm stormed through the stage, an incredible 22.4 seconds quicker than even McRae. Nothing, it seemed, could stop the French machines from continuing their grip on the rally. By now, Burns' car was back to full power again, but even he was unable to match Grönholm's amazing performance through the stage.
Long crest 40, fast left minus to medium left plus, long, 30, easy right 30, easy right long 60, long crest 20, medium left 30, okay, right plus. Richard finished the stage.
Harry Rovanpera's co-driver's name, Voito, means winner in Finnish, but any thoughts of a first win on their home event were premature. Just watch the front right-hand side of the car. That was the precise moment when their tyre exploded early in the stage. Things then began to go from bad to worse. By the time the pair neared the end of the stage, the suspension had all but collapsed, and with another stage and 2 road sections to complete before their mechanics could fix the damage, the outcome was almost inevitable.
And also safety continue, and 100 kilometers on the service is maybe we destroyed everything, and I talking in the service, and maybe better we stop.
It's a pity because it was doing a very good rally, home rally. Okay, but you should all admit that we are doing all our best to keep this rally alive, and we have still 2 cars leading.
After the 41 kilometres of stage 13, it must have been a relief for the crews to tackle the next, the day's shortest. Not all of the crews were out to try to score points. Citroën had come to Finland to learn the event, in readiness for their assault on the full World Championship next year. Sebastian Loeb is supposedly more at home on asphalt than gravel, but even so was second fastest on the stage. Carlos Sainz, twice world champion, is as happy on gravel as he is on tarmac, and again set the time to beat.
Para zona rápida, izquierda rápida más. Para uno. Derecha rápida menos, para Sanding izquierda rápida menos corta. Para derecha rápida menos ras. Para izquierda rápida menos se cierra poco y ras.
Once again though, Colin McRae was faster than his colleague. This time the gap between the two Ford drivers was just 1.4 seconds. But Petter Solberg's Subaru was again slower than both the two Focuses. As the car crosses the line, it's clear that Solberg thinks he's driving as quickly as he can.
6 left, just keep into the crest, tightens 50, 5 right minus half long, opens to keep left of the crest, 60, 6 right of the crest, 80, 6 left plus.
Can't go quicker, Will.
After the problems which slowed Burns and forced Rovanperä to retire, Grönholm must have wondered whether bad luck really does go in threes. He didn't back off though.
Vasen täys. 100 ja ryppyvateri tiukka.
Burns, now second once again, was nearly a minute and a half behind his teammate. Surely any hope of victory had ended on stage 12, but that didn't stop the Englishman from trying. Only Sainz winning the stage 10 Super Special would spoil Peugeot's 100% record of stage victories, and stage 14 would be no different.
Slight right 40, playing max in, and slight left 70, flat right 20, flat right 100, slight raised 40, slight right long 100.
Marcus, every Peugeot driver seems to have led the rally today. Now it's your turn.
Okay, good. I try to keep it now.
We were like a few, like 25 seconds in front of Marcus before we had the problem, and then we dropped another 20 seconds in the service, so that's put us as far behind as we are. And to be honest, the risks are too high to think about taking a minute and a half from him.
You got Oni Poya this afternoon again. Different line over the jump?
Same line, slower speed.
You've kind of done your own rally in many ways. You just kept your nose clean and yourself to yourself, and it's really paying off.
That's all we can do. There's no other option at the moment. Just to, it's hard enough to keep in front of Carlos and Petter, so we'll continue to do that. And maybe there might be another problem in the Peugeot camp. You never know.
Stage 15 was another run through on Poya, the stage which saw Burns' heavy landing and that 1.5 minute time loss. Tony Gardemeister has had a frustrating day, sweeping away the gravel from the road surface, but at least he won't be first on the road on day 3. Further up the leaderboard, Freddie Leutz was locked in battle with Yevgeny Tuinov for 10th place. Marco Martin and co-driver Michael Park were now in the points after moving past Sebastian Lindholm on the previous stage. Carlos Sainz though was looking for a lot more than a solitary point, but losing over 10 seconds to Solberg meant the Focus dropped to 5th, behind the Impreza. McRae was again also quicker than Sainz, but knows 3rd place is probably the best he can hope for, unless the two Peugeots ahead of him falter on the final day. Solberg reported that his tyre choice and car setup were perfect for the first time all rally, and he set the 2nd quickest time. He now has 6 more stages tomorrow to try to catch McRae, a tall order perhaps. Grönholm, however, was determined to continue the Peugeot team's record of stage wins and set the fastest time for the 3rd successive stage. This was how Burns tackled the jump on stage 12, so had he learned his lesson? Clearly he had, the 206 not needing clearance from air traffic control this time, but was still 3rd quickest.
Marcus, the pressure's off now really. One more stage today?
Yeah, but it's still difficult to drive. You have to avoid the stones and it makes a corner a little bit different sometimes. But still it's okay.
How was that one?
No problem, good fun. quite excited.
Are you trying to catch Marcus, or are you just going to leave it at second?
It's a minute and a half. It's a little bit stupid to take that many chances to try to beat him when it's that comfortable.
You going to try and catch Colin tonight?
Yes.
Stage 16, the day's last, saw Burns once again top the timesheet, but Sainz and McRae were both around 14 seconds quicker than Solberg, despite Petter's prediction. So this is how the leaderboard looks going into the final day. Over a minute and 34 seconds splitting the two Peugeots, with Sainz having retaken fourth place. The group chasing the point-scoring positions is led by Mäkinen, with Moinks having snatched 10th place from Tuino. So again, the days belong to the Peugeot team. Can the French cars continue their domination of the rally and claim the maximum 16 points? Or will day 3 see a repeat of the team's earlier dramas and allow the likes of McRae to score some useful points? Join us tomorrow for highlights of the final 6 stages, but from Finland. Good night.